What's going on, everybody? How do I sound? Can y'all hear me okay? Hey, TH2. Appreciate it. Well, looks like I got Jerry, Copycat, Dustin, TH2. How are y'all today? Hope you're doing good. Let me crack open my energy here. Sugar free, of course. Well, what have y'all been prepping? Have y'all prepped anything recently? Mm-hmm. Well, I've just sort of been keeping on. Typically every day, do a little something. But Potato gave a speech today. Hey, NC Prepper 76, good to see you. Hello, Lynn Quilts. That's good. Good, Mary. Yeah, I sort of do the same thing. I'll grab maybe 2 rice, 2 beans on this trip and some canned goods on the next trip. Maybe some pastas and instant mashed potatoes in the next trip. I sort of just go down the line like that. Hey, Jerry. Yeah. Sorry, that seems to be the preference of the stoner types. I'm not judging. Hey, thanks, Scout. Appreciate it. I got you, man. I got you. I'm not judging. Gotta do you. I get it. Everybody's different. I'll tell you what. You become an underground weed distributor, man. You'd be pretty. You used to be sitting pretty, man. If the balloon goes up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard that. I'll tell you what, man. They are changing up every Walmart I go into now. We're really gravitating towards this online stuff. So people need to read into that, what they will. um, for sure, everything's going to be limited. Potato let the cat out of the bag yesterday, so all these normies are going to be flooding the stores, thinking they finally heard some good information from the clown. I'll tell you what I did find. It was a hell of a buy. I guess Maxwell House makes this. I'm sort of a coffee snob to a point. I'm not crazy on the high end stuff, but I'm careful. I'm not going to spend $5 a cup or anything like that, of course. But the Maxwell House makes this. I guess it's elevated caffeine. It's like a 1.75 caffeine, and the pod is just called Max, and it was on sale for $5 a box at Walmart, and it was 24 pods for $5. Crazy. I got 3 of them. I got the 3 they had. But I guess they're just discontinuing it or something. Wash beans. Good stuff, Mary. Whew. It's cold. But the normal stuff. I've been bouncing around between I'm pretty good on fuel, doing the food, doing the Freedom Seeds still, and obviously the water and the abilities to store water. And AB Charming, good to see you. And there's a lot of ways to capture water out there. You guys and gals know that. Everything from buckets to tarps to gutters and downspouts to tubs to trees. You can let water drip off the tree limbs. But it's all falling into place, it looks like. With the neediness of the people, the inability to secure food, and then you've got more stimmy coming for the gas cards, if you will, so people can afford to drive around, I guess. But yeah, pretty good timing, right? Yeah, so you got supposedly Vlad's pulling his troops back to the east to secure that section of the country, if you want to believe it. But of course, they're going to, continue to destroy everything in the west, all over the country. And hell, I mean, he honestly may as well drop a nuke now. I mean, he's done everything else. And with him pulling troops back to the east, if that's true, I would be a little concerned about that happening, to be honest with you. But I think one thing's for sure, they have gotten quite the surprise when they got deeper and deeper into Ukraine. They're having trouble whipping, kids running around in jogging suits and grannies running around. They're having a tough time. Of course, these American and NATO delivered anti-tank things are apparently having a pretty good impact, which is great. Well, I don't know, Mary. I don't know, but I think you're right. I think that it is a defining moment for the world. I think that if it was just Russia, I wouldn't worry too much about it. But now you've got Iran flexing, the NOCOs are flexing. Remember, it's a whole conglomerate of bad actors on all sides, to be quite honest with you. Yeah. I agree with that statement. I'm not the purveyor of I'm not the soothsayer, if you will, but all I know is that I sure as hell don't want to have to go through what those people in Ukraine had to go through. What a mess. Poor people. um, but yeah, Russia has pretty much destroyed everything, and they continue to do so today with their energy sector and oil and stuff like that. And I would just, I'll go back to what I said last week. You know, I don't know how Vlad escapes from this without further damage either to himself or the rest of the world. Eventually, the people of Russia are going to find out what the hell happened. It might be, Mary. But I think it could go one of three ways. Obviously, uh, he retreats uh, back to Russia with his troops, securing what he wants in the east. Goes before the Hague for war crimes, which that ain't, I can take that one off the board. I don't think he's willing to do that. I think he'll press the button before he does that. He takes Ukraine over, keeps it. He wants to rebuild that, right? Now, if you just want the resources, that's different. Now, they are a huge wheat producer, right? So if he could control that entire wheat harvest over there, think about that power. Control, I think, 25% of the world's wheat crop. Or, that's two. Or three, he just go ahead and pushes the button. Yeah, thanks, TH2. But if this is all, above board, not a conspiracy between other nations like ourselves and some of the other Europeans, which I don't think it really is, he's going to have a real problem the rest of his life. Hey, Beth. He's not going to be able to keep it from the people forever. So I wish I had the answer, believe me. And I'm sure that he is so paranoid by the fact that, he is arresting members of the cabinet and their version of the Joint Chiefs, He seems to be pretty paranoid if what we're hearing is true. And, he seems to be like a pretty well cornered animal. And if he thinks that sanctions are just going to come off, man, I don't know about that. Seems to me like he's got things twisted a little bit. I mean, hell, I wish I owned a major industrial type of construction company over there. I'd be getting rich. All that rebuilding that's going to take place. That I don't disagree with you, Jerry. But, at least Potato put it out in the open and was transparent about the NWO and all that's going on, and at least we know. And that's one of my point of my video yesterday was to stop complaining about it and expect it and realize it. You know, now that you know the rules and you know the strategy, you know, we just prep accordingly. What else can you do except pray and prep? And so, I know who they are. I know what they're about. To me, they mean nothing to me. And I'm just operating like they don't exist. They being the GOV. And I am preparing that way to be doing things without them. Other than another round of meds I have to go get, I'm focusing on the four particular food groups, I call it: fuel, food, freedom seeds, and water. That's the 4 areas I'm focusing on. And that's just my method. Everybody's at a different level. Everybody does their own thing based on their situation. And that's what I would suggest that you keep doing. And I would, don't forget the other things too, like home maintenance and fortification of doors and, maintenance of vehicles, etc. And something else I do every year, and I don't know if you guys and gals do it or not, some of you probably do, but I'll take some boiling water and I will pour it down all my drains about twice a year. It helps unclog debris and, some types of grease and oils and stuff that might be in drains, hair. But if you pour hot boiling water down those drains, it will often, keep them clear and free. I'm talking about sink drains and shower drains, tub drains, things like that. But if you'll take some hot boiling water, and it takes a little while to do it because you can only work with a pot, so to speak, or a kettle. But it does help to keep those drains clear and free. But it might be something you consider doing if you haven't done it before, rather than just dump chemicals down it. Sometimes it's just not necessary. Chemicals have their place, don't get me wrong, but like I said, I'll do about twice a year. I'll do it, right at spring and then right before fall. Hey, God soldiers, good to see you. But just little things like that, and then grab yourself some. Tell you what, one of the things that I've been sort of getting on lately is solar lighting, and I'll go grab those little solar lights on the little stick that you stick on the sidewalk or whatever, and you can get them for $1 something sometimes. Depends on where you go. All right, you can just strategically place those around your yard, in your flower beds or whatever, and hell, you've got your emergency lighting right there. I mean, it's real simple. Yeah, that's good, Beth. But if you go get those little solar lights, again, they're kind of cheap. But what you might do is you might keep some, in the box unopened and keep them in the garage so you've got some backups. Yeah, off the wall. Good, good. I like it. I'm gonna do the same thing here in a little bit. Hell yeah, Jerry. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, you just get a box of them and just keep them put up, and you've always got them. They're not wore out by the time you need them. Just takes one one placement in the daytime out there to get them charged up. And you just keep doing it. Exactly, TH2. Exactly. But yeah, I'm not worried about this administration. I'm not worried about anything, and I'm not going to get any of their stimmy money anyway. I'm not going to get any of their gas money. All I'm doing is watching them and trying to keep them as far away from me as possible. Good gods, there you go. There's a lady on YouTube. There's a gal on YouTube that she makes chandeliers out of solar lights, or attaches them to old chandeliers. Pretty cool. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, put some booby traps up. Hey Annie. Yeah, very cool. Very good idea, Jerry. Just reflects right up, huh? Hey Gully. Hey Gail, rather. Sorry. Hey, how you doing, Gail? But yeah, I think that's one of my things. Is I've always had a little bit of solar lighting around the house. Don't get me wrong. Thanks, Gail. um, hmm for sure. Hey, Goblin, good to see you. That's pretty cool, Mary. Awesome. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. God soldiers for sure. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, people. I'm not one of these solar, save the planet people, but there are a lot of items that have their place, especially in the prepping world. Aside from a solar generator, there's a lot of little gadgets, that for sure are handy to have in times of an incident. But that stuff is really cheap, especially those little lights. I mean, man, you can get a 2 pack of little step lights for a few bucks. Mm, yeah. I don't even get involved in it. Yeah, Mary, that's what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Scout, I hear you. Yeah, there's tons of people on here with opinions. Some I agree with, some I don't agree with, but that's fine. I don't judge people for their opinions, you know. We all have to we all have to, you know, go with our gut sometimes and you know, I have no idea what's going to happen with all this stuff. All I know is that there's like Mary said, there's a struggle between good and evil. It seems like. I'm not so sure they're not all evil, to be honest, but um, you know, power and greed and lust, bad combination. And you know, like I said before, if it was Russia by themselves, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. They've you know, they have you know, if this is the best they got, they're in bad shape. Yes, everything's upside down, God soldiers. Everything's topsy turvy, or bass backwards, as we like to say around here. Yes. Yeah. I think consistency and credibility are huge. Wow. Hold them at gunpoint, call the sheriff, set up surveillance on them. Yes. But yeah, with summer coming, you know, and people start to do their flower beds and stuff, all these solar lights are going to disappear. I would suggest that if you're going to in the market for some, to go out and grab some. And like I said, I would keep some, you know, brand new without pulling the little tag out of them so they stay fresh. You've always got some backups. Yeah, put a game cam up off the wall. But I don't know about you guys and gals, but I damn sure am not going to go wait in any bread lines. But yeah, there's a few things going on here with this current administration and mentality of that whole group, and that is criminalizing, you know, criminalizing uh, opposing speech and activities, which is covered by the U.S. Constitution, Article 1. or the First Amendment rather. Sorry, I'm watching some activity out here. So the First Amendment, and the thing is that they somehow have manipulated the system to think or to demonstrate that they are the purveyors of truth and morality somehow. Like they think they have the moral high ground over everybody. Like they say, every time that a conservative speaks out against the narrative that they are, purporting on the other side, they want to criminalize it and make you a outcast, cancel you, etc. So again, I don't really care what they do. It's not gonna really bother me, but I think some people just need to accept the fact that this is who they are and they're not going to change. Yeah. Like I said in my video yesterday, this is who they are. The Constitution doesn't really mean anything to them unless it can benefit them or help them enforce something that they want to. I would just go sit down there at night off the wall and do some surveillance. I would set up on it, do some surveillance, nice and quiet. And if they're coming in a vehicle, just block the gate getting out. Trap them. Make sure you call the law so they know what's going on. That's what I would do. If it was SHTF, that's a different situation. Try to find a deputy somewhere and talk to them about it. Yeah, NVGs. Yeah, you got to defend your stuff off the wall. You got it. You defend it. But yeah, we know who they are, and by this time, if you don't know what the other side's about, or the side that's in charge right now, again, I don't really lean one way or the other. I don't like either one of them, and so with that, I'm just doing my stuff. I'm just wishing other people would stop getting worked up about the things that you can't control currently. Control what you can control, and get better at what you can get better at. And the one thing that I think a lot of people miss the boat on, not a lot of people, I think some people miss the boat on, is, knowing what you don't know, right? A lot of people don't know what they don't know. Like a lot of take like trade workers for some examples, right? So like take a framer or a carpenter, right? Or a cabinet maker. A lot of people think you just go and just frame a shed. or you just go frame a wall, or it's easy, you just go roof a house, or any idiot can go do that. And boy, there's nothing that could be further from the truth. There's expertise in every trade and every skill that if you want it done right, you need to have. And so, me being I'm not, I love to shoot, but I know personally that I don't go shoot enough. But at least I know that. And I know it's a deficiency that I have, but I need to rectify, and I'm working on it. But I probably need to go about once a month. So it's just one of those things where you got to be honest with yourself and, you know what you don't know and be willing to address the areas that you are not proficient in. And it could be everything from just reading up on a subject to, um, doing hands-on CPR training or something. But you got to be honest, and you have to admit to being deficient in an area. All right, Beth, good for you. But again, my four areas that I'm focusing on, on the reg is food, fuel, freedom seeds, and water. Not in any particular order. I just sort of bounce around between them. Whatever's at a good rate, I'll grab it. Absolutely, Goblin. Absolutely. We all need to practice, and that goes with anything, right? They whether you're I don't know, a teacher or a student or a golfer or an artist, you got to practice a lot of times to get good at something regularly. People just don't like to ask for help nowadays for some reason. I don't understand it. Hey, Debs, good to see you. Oh, you're all right. Yeah, exactly, Red Scout. And they're buying up all these houses. The heavy hitters in the financial world, the Black Rocks and such. They're buying up all these houses. And it's all part of the reset. Good for you, Denise. Welcome. Good for you. But again, I hate to beat a dead horse, but it's clear, people, that we know what the deep state is about, and even the ones that are purveying the path for the deep state here. Um, the NWO, they clearly don't give a rat's ass about what we prefer or what the Constitution says. I think they're willing to change all of it, but they better hurry because they got a couple years. I would expect more turmoil, uh, to ensue between now and the midterms, even. Exactly, Denise. I'm the same way. So I think, I'm not telling you don't pay attention to the news or, keep your ear to the ground. Again, know thy enemy, right? Um, know thy enemy, but, just use it as motivation to prep and prepare yourself to be functional without them. I think maybe two. Exactly, Scout. I agree with that. I don't know either. I'm just thinking about like, yeah. Hey, Crazy Horse, good to see you. But I don't think this thing is going to slow down. I think there's a lot of positioning happening, with regards to the Ukraine invasion. There's a lot of moving parts. I still think that the possibility of being launched on is pretty good, just because of the position that Vlad is in internationally. If you want to believe what's going on, I mean, again, there's so much happening. It's hard to trust any of it, to be honest. But you would think that eventually his people are going to find out what's really going on. Um, and their economy keeps crumbling. But then again, he keeps doing things to offset some of that pain, like demanding all their oil be paid for in rubles. That was pretty smart move. Well, the only thing, Goblin, that I'll say to that is that I hope you're right. And the one thing that bothers me is the amount of, you know, hardworking people that are willing to put in the work to go get that done. I don't think we have the numbers anymore. I hate to say that, but I think it's just a fact. I mean, hell, they did a poll where they asked both party, registered voters from both parties if they would, stay and fight for America or if they would flee. I think 60% of the Democrats or 65% of the Democrats said they would flee. They wouldn't defend America. They're all in it for themselves. There's too much selfishness. People don't want to sacrifice. I mean, nobody, I guess, really wants to sacrifice. You got to be willing to sacrifice some things. I mean, you have these woke snowflakes at these campuses that are just totally set up for failure when they leave. Because at some point, you know, what they all do is they hide behind their mealy mouth, attorneys, and they have the law work on their side. Well, where I think this thing is headed, lawyers ain't going to do anything. Lawyers are going to be suspects. I know a lot of us would fight. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is, I don't think it was like it's definitely not going to be like the quality of people has severely degraded since the Depression era. Those people could fight through anything, and they proved it. I just don't think there's many people that are willing to fight for it. I saw that. I actually saw one of those a couple years ago. Good God, dumbasses. They sure do, Gypsy. They sure do. By the way, welcome, Gypsy. I don't know if I've seen you in here before, but you're welcome in here. Yeah, all these VIPs and high rollers thinking that they're always used to just handing out money for everything. I don't think they're going to be able to buy their way out of what's coming. I've said that plenty of times before. I don't think you're going to be able to sling money around and get out of what's coming. There's a lot of people out here that aren't motivated by money. And, I think people just, it's almost like the whole thing has to be stripped down to the root and started over. It's almost like it's so corrupt and so off kilter and so backwards that it needs to be, pushed over and resurrected new again, because this is way off from where this thing was supposed to go. Yeah, exactly, Mary. That was my whole point about the crime. I mean, look what they're doing now. Hell, it ain't even got bad yet, not even close to being bad. I mean, they're telling people in LA to it's big, telling crime victims of robbery, armed robberies to if you wouldn't wear your jewelry out in public, you wouldn't get jumped. Well, what kind of sense does that make? Now, I agree with not drawing attention to yourself. Don't get me wrong, but they've got this whole damn thing flipped upside down. Well, I know there's some in here that have pretty low expectations, like Jerry. He just wants his weed and ramen noodles. And a lot of these youngsters are the same way. I'm just kidding, Jerry. And folks, listen, a lot of these people out there, these kids, have been conditioned and given everything they've ever wanted. They never had to take out the trash. They never had to change a flat tire. They never had to do the little things that make you self-sufficient and, empowered. We've gotten fat and happy and just got used to, people doing stuff for us. Not all of us, but you get my drift. Like I had a shower drain clogged in the second bathroom, and what happened was somebody had dropped one of those little rope things off of like a brush, and it went down the drain into like the P trap. It was blocking the airflow, so the shower would drain really slow. And I was about to call a plumber. I tried to snake it several times. I got on YouTube and found a different method that might work. And you know what? I tried it one last time. Last Sunday, I got in there and snaked it again and use this different method. And sure enough, that's where I pulled it out of there, and it started draining like a champ. So probably saved myself. Hey Lisa, probably saved myself, $1,500, 2,000, $2,000, because to get to that P trap, you pretty much have to tunnel in from the side of the house. So I was glad for that. But again, I went and did it myself. I almost gave up on it, but I wanted to try one last effort, try to get that out, save my money, save myself some money. And so there's a lot of different things you can do in that regard. But yeah, people, these snowflakes, man, I'm telling you what, we talked about the other day on Off the Walls channel. These snowflakes are going to have a hell of a rough ride. They're really going to have it tough and probably not going to last very long. And they're softening up these kids to be just a burden, honestly. Not that kids are a burden. I'm just saying, they teach these kids to just uh, be gentle all the time, and sometimes you got to be tough. Sometimes you got to do the things you don't want to do, even though it sucks. And to me, I think that's parental malpractice to not teach a kid, to not teach a kid how to survive through tough times. Even though they can't process it all, I think you've got to teach them something that, life is hard and you better learn to deal with it or you're not going to make it. And, I raised my kids pretty tough like that because I know the world's a shithole. Excuse my French. I know the evil that's out there. I've seen it. And all this propaganda that they get taught in school socially is just setting them up for failure. Again, this is sort of going a different direction than I initially wanted, but where you live matters. Your politics matters because, like right now in my state, in Texas, we're pretty good right now, but there is an opportunity for infiltration. Hey, Dr. Rob, good to see you. Yep, people better start getting tough because I think it's going to happen. And that mealy mouth, lip service, whiny, crying stuff ain't going to cut it when the balloon goes up. When the balloon goes up, they're going to have a really tough time. Mm. You got that right, Dr. Rob. Yeah, these city slickers are going to have a tough time there. Sure are. Got that right, Goblin. Then you got the no-cos right behind them. Hell, they might use the no-cos to launch the first one. You know? Yeah, all these liberal urban areas are going to be absolute Mad Max. Can you imagine being a woke snowflake in an urban crime center? What a dipshit. That's a good point, Scout. I'll give a quote here. Sort of my motto. Yep. You poor son of a bitch. I like it. But people, you got to be deliberate in what you do out there now. There's a lot of creepers at night out at the grocery stores and stuff. I've seen it myself. My little, woke bastion that I live in. It's a, sterilized environment. And there's all kinds of stuff happening. And a lot of crime, targets of opportunity. Just go to the grocery store and just sit there for 5 minutes. You should be checking it out anyway before you get out of your vehicle. But just scan the parking lot. Watch these normies just walk around oblivious and clueless and totally vulnerable to anything that they should encounter. The thing is, you got to be able and willing to engage should your life depend on it. Oh, nice, Dr. Rob. Yeah, I'd like to see that, man. Yeah, somebody, one of the mods, please drop some links to Dr. Rob and others. He's got a good channel. Yeah, I'd like to see that. That's pretty good too because doesn't take up a lot of space, and I mean, hell, even if you live in an apartment, you could get away with that probably. Yeah, but please like, share, and subscribe. If you're new, please, please subscribe to the channel. Trying to grow this thing a little bit. I know it's not as glamorous as a lot of other channels, but I do appreciate y'all showing up anyway. Exactly, Dr. Rob. No, I think it's a great idea, and they're affordable too. I think you can get them for $25 or $30 used. And it's a great idea. I've just gone the blackout bag route currently. I do have a Faraday cage for specialty item, but I've gone the blackout bag route for my solar kit especially, and been able to I double bag those components in blackout bags. I double bag them just for extra. I have no idea if it's going to work or not, but that's my current status with regards to EMP protection right now. Okay, thanks, NC76. Appreciate that. But one thing's for sure, I think that the worse the economy gets for Russia and the fact that Vlad is not, at least not overtly, too concerned with imagery right now, the more dangerous he can be. Hey, Hillbilly, good to see you. Good for you. Yes, I think you ought to have two at least. Uh, I've only got Goblin. I've only been able to pick up things that I've been able to find. I don't know the answer to that, but I don't think so. I don't think there's been one employed offensively, to my knowledge, other than testing. Um, Good for you. Wow, hitchhike. That's bold. Well, I would just, I think I would just simplify things in your life, with your preps, with your objectives. I'm not telling you don't go live your dream, of course. I'm not telling you that, but simplify your life and, uh, you know, first of all, be deliberate in your uh, everyday happenings. Pay attention. Like I said, go to a parking lot of a grocery store or a store, wherever you shop, and just pick a good, safe spot to park and just sit in your car and just sort of watch people. Just watch people walk around oblivious and careless, and just you can learn a lot from other people's mistakes. But try that next time you go shopping. Learn to back into a parking spot too. Grow food, that's a good one. Yep, for sure. Simplicity is going to be key. Hang in there, Scout. Yes, exactly. We all know what they're about. So what we do is we know what they're about. We know what this government's willing to do. We see the path they're taking. They're not hiding it anymore. So you just prep around it. You know, be use OPSEC. Don't announce to the world what you have been grabbing and this and that, but prep your ass off. Prep your ass off. We don't need any. We don't need any mumbo jumbo from these government clowns that don't have our best interest at heart. That's for sure. Yeah, I hear you, Dr. Bob. There's another one we had in the Army: kill them all, let God sort them out. Now, I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not advocating it. Good for you, 76. Good for you. I was thinking about getting myself one of these little roll around garden carts, that you can put pots in, where you can roll it out and put it back in. That way the sun doesn't bake it to death like it does here in Texas all the time. I was thinking about just growing maybe some tomatoes, some spinach, something like that. That's one area that I'm, going to be pretty deficient in. I'll have to be honest, hillbilly. But I am proficient on the other side, which is proteins. Very proficient. And it's not that I can't grow food. I've had little gardens before. It's definitely not my area of expertise. But I do have the protein side covered. I could probably do some trading if I had to. Um, we've got, deer, turkey, dove, quail, um, rabbits, all that jazz out at the ranch. So as long as I can get there, I'm good. Yep. And that's one thing I've really advocated for people is to get the protein powders, the just add water things. You know, having a lot of the protein powders will supplement, and keep you healthy or healthier, I might say. Yeah, we got a lot of pigs here, 76. But we only like eat the piglet, to maybe up to 60 to 80 pound sows. That's it. And that's even stretching it a little bit. Um, so just be careful if you're consuming, wild pork. First of all, cook it or process it fast. Don't let it get hot. Get it cooled down, get it washed, and then cook the hell out of it, of course. Who's your neighbor, Crazy Horse, Mr. Clark? That place will make you fat. Port Polk. What a dump. God, Mosquito City, man. Don't forget your mosquito repellent in your snake boots. See you, Gypsy. Good to see you. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate you subscribing. Don't be a stranger. But yeah, I'm fixing to go make a run. So anyway, I just wanted to pop on. I figured if I did it in the middle of the day, people would show up and say they probably have stuff to do at night. And I know I'm not the most exciting, channel around, but I nevertheless appreciate you guys and gals showing up. And if you're new, please subscribe and come back. I typically try to do something every day or every other day. It's sort of difficult to keep things relevant because everything is so watered down out there. Everybody's doing a lot of the same stuff. So I'm trying to keep it somewhat relative and interesting, and not always easy to do, but I try. So anyway, people keep doing the things, you know what to do. Trust your gut. Don't waste your time on complaining about the powers that be. they're going to do what they do and have always done, and that is not give a damn about us. So I would take that part under your own wing and give a damn about yourself and take care of what you need to take care of. Pay attention, keep prepping, stack it deep, and always remember, long live the Republic. Y'all take care now. I appreciate y'all showing up.